Alright, we got Samuel Bogner here again with another Regionals top. This time at Columbus Regionals, you got top 8th, actually specifically 7th place, going 7-1-1. I'm going to let him take it away from here.
Alright, I'll show the map first. It's pretty and stuff, I guess. But anyway, I played Shadoll because, shout out to Matt Bleckinger for that one, by the way. So, bad deck. But, I played Shadoll because I thought going into this, not knowing the meta, it was the strongest build. And for the way I like to play, yeah, I like combo decks, but I also like to have the ability to control the board at all times, or counterplay on the opponent's turn. So I picked this because I thought it had the best overall deck choices and best boss monster lineup, that it could handle most of the meta and easily win the mirror match for the most part, which I did. So I'll just go over that, and I'll show you later some of my extra deck choices that went along with why I played what I did in the main. So 2 Mathematician. I didn't play 3 because you have enough like solid openings with this. Like if I want Hedgehog or Mathematician or one of my traps to start the game off with, or like a Foolish and then set a Falco. So like there's enough opening plays that I didn't think I needed the 3rd one, and it was absolutely fine at 2. I would keep it at 2 for now. It's very consistent. Everyone was trying to debate between this and Armageddon Knight. I think you only run Armageddon Knight in the Wyvern build, which I like the Wyvern build, but like I said, unestablished format, unestablished meta. I just feel like this was stronger, more solid choices, and this replaces itself with a card when it gets killed by battle, obviously. And also, this was actually very important. The extra 100 attack allows you to actually kill the Falco in the mirror match, whereas Armageddon Knight would just crash into it, flip it, and they would still have it for the next turn to synchro. So it was really important to me to actually like clear that off the board, even if I had to run into it. So that was really important. Also, this can't, get super polyed, so not yet. Not until Shikinagi comes out. 3 Hedgehog because you need it. It's your Stratos. It's your double Stratos. It searches your spells, searches your monsters. A lot of people were arguing about Falco. I played 3 because I play the artifacts and I can always synchro. And the card is just too good. Like every once in a while, yeah, you open one when you don't want to, but you have so many ways to dump things in the grave and make this live. It's too good of a card to not run at 3. It lets you do the combos with the deck. It lets you recycle the beast, which is amazing. I'm definitely glad I ran it at 3. And then another thing that people were running, I saw in test builds at like 2, Dragon. Dragon might very well be the best card in the deck, the best monster. I'll show some of the combos later, but the fact that it's a 1900, I think people overlook that, because it almost forces your opponent to go into the extra deck, which then makes your fusions basically a +2, +3. So the 1900 is huge. The fact that it's an MST is huge. You can interrupt them on their turn with Sinister Shadow games, and one of the main things I would do was establish a board with like a Winda, and then have this face down, and on their turn, when they use their 1 special summon, play the Shadow games, send whichever one I needed according to, the game state, and then flip this and return their 1 play back to their hand, and you pretty much just win from there the next turn. So, and then I found that this was the best ratio for these so far. 1 Squamata and 2 Beast. I love 3 Beast, but you can recycle Beast with the Falcon. I feel like you can't. 3 Beast plus 3 Falcon is a little too cloggy for me, and I wanted the 3rd Falcon because it's just, there's too many plays. The Squamata, I honestly only needed the 1 really to just get my plays started. Like, you'll go first turn with the Mathematician, you'll drop the Squamata, and then drop the Falco, and you're set up for that play. But other than that, I don't want to thin the deck too much, because the more I thin my deck out of the actual Shadow cards, the less live fusions I have to summon with from the main deck, and I don't want to get myself to a point where I can't grind anymore. So I would rather just have the actual Shadows in here instead of replacing them with extra copies of him. And it was just more resourceful, and I'm really glad I made that pick. I cited him out too, so he was perfect at 1. He was really good.
Now, is there any monsters you might have wished wish you would have ran, or were you happy with your lineup completely?
I mean, I was really happy on the monster lineup. I'm still debating on whether 1 or 2 Bagelta is the right choice, but I'll get to that in a second. I'll kind of explain that. So for the artifacts, the 3 Mortalk and the 2 Bagelta. People were talking about just running the Mortalks, and like that's good and all, but I don't like to draw a Dead Sanctum, and I don't want to have to do something like run an Emerald and go into Emerald just to recycle these. Also, as I was explaining to people yesterday at the actual regional, I like to have what I would call throwaway lights. And even though this is a good card with the Ignition combo, it's a throwaway light. I'm not going to be upset tossing this in my deck to make the Construct play. People are running Valor, and like it's cool because if you have Valor in your hand, you can use it, to save your window a lot. But also, it's not a throwaway light. Like, you're never going to want to actually just throw a Veiler in the graveyard and be okay with it. And, like, it's almost to a point of, like, why would you even run the Veiler if it's just a throwaway card? So, I didn't agree with that at all. Also, I wouldn't want to throw the Wyverns away because you want to exceed with them. This was one of those cards where if I have it good, I'm going to combo off. And if it's in my deck, I can just send it out of my deck to make the construct. And then I'm just going to get better draws. And I don't have to throw away, like, an artifact that I want to use, like the Mortalk. So, really, really good. And also, the reason I ran the full engine of that is because I want to be able to make Pleiades because it wins the mirror match, like hardcore, and a bunch of other matches. And then I ran both of the Chaos Monsters, the Sorcerer and the BLS. The reason I chose the Sorcerer was because I was playing in the our Thursday locals, and I won that. And at some point during the day, someone made the comment, they were like, wow, with the way you can eat through back row, BLS really is the best card in that deck. And I sat there and I thought about that because it was such a simple statement, but I was like, well, if BLS is really this good, and it is, why not run, like, you know, a second, like, you know, his retarded little brother, why not run a second copy of a card that functions like that? That way I can have it more consistently. And, I mean, every time I wanted this card, I saw this card, you know, same purpose. This probably won me 3-4 games by itself just because I technically, like, almost had 2 ways of getting to the same concept. Removing the window, removing the one teller dude, Deltros, cards like that, like the real problem cards of this format that you just don't want to kill. It was amazing. So that was kind of a last minute decision too. I think I did that like Friday night when I got home. I was kind of drunk, so I made a good drunk choice, I guess. But that was that was the one monster that I probably would have regretted that if I didn't run that, to answer your question. The other thing I was thinking of was Scythe was actually really good in testing. It's really good against the tellers, so because usually, like, they'll break through you and then try to go off, but a lot of times I would flip Sanctum in testing and get out the Scythe, but I just didn't really have room Saturday morning when I decided my final lineup, so I didn't run it. But that would have been something maybe I'd like to go back and test again. So for the spells, the fusion. Honestly, at some point in the future, I would like to try to only run 2, because once you get to it, you only need the 1 or 2, but you want to open with it, so that's why I ran 3. 2 Ignition. I wanted to main deck MST, but I didn't like the MST is just a 1-for-1, and it just I didn't really feel like I was getting full value out of it in this format. I'd rather have this, which is a +1, but also combos off with my other artifacts. It helps me, have plays where I shouldn't, because in the regular build, people would just have the Mortalk, and if you don't have the Sanctum with it, you're forced to use your Shadow Game on a dragon and kill your own Mortalk. But this just gave me so many more added plays, plus I could go into Pleiades really easily, so that was a really good choice. The book, I don't really think the book is actually good this format, but in this deck, it's really good because you can manipulate your own cards and flip them down and reuse their effects. The one Foolish, because Foolish in this deck is probably the most versatile card. You can do anything. It can become a draw card. It can become a Rhoda. It becomes an MST. It does whatever. It summons the Falco. It's too good. I only ran 1 Soul Charge. I was debating between this and Allure, but I felt like the deck was consistent enough that I didn't need the Allure, and I didn't want to draw into other artifacts anyway. So this was good. I don't know if I would keep it at 1 or do 2 or even completely take it out, because I'm kind of up in the air with it, because there were just times where, like, I had it and it was perfectly live and I just never played it because there was no need to. But what it was good with was getting the artifacts back and making the rank 5s and protecting the window. Like, that was very solid. There were a couple times where I would bring back the window and then 2 5s and overlay for Pleiades, and then they just had no out to that. So that was the reason it was good. But past that, I didn't really need it. I only ran 1 Breakthrough because it basically served the same function as Book of Moon. I just wanted to protect the window. Warning's really good. Bottomless. I ran this basically because I wanted to stop the other problem cards. Like, they're not really going to make window in the mirror match against you. They're going to make Construct, and this just takes care of it right there. And same with the other cards, the other problem cards of the format, like Deltros and stuff. I just wanted them out of the game, period. Obvious, same thing. The only reason I actually ran this was because in this build, you're not really... Like, I'm not running Exiton, and you're not running, like, mass flooding as far as, you're not spamming the field, really. And I still wanted to clear, like, a massive board in the off chance that they soul charged, and I just didn't have enough answers next turn. So that was my reason for running this. Also, like, if you hit, like, a lizard or something on summon, you kill their front row, and you can... Not lizard, sorry. Dragon. You kill their front row, and then you can kill one in the back row, too. So that was pretty good. And then, the best card in the deck, Shadow Game. This is the most versatile card in the entire deck. You can do anything with this. Like I said, the thing I tried to set up the most was a window and set the dragon and just flip this. I usually draw a card or add a Falco to my hand. and then flip the dragon and compulse their card, and then you pretty much win. And the minimal they're going to take the next turn is the 19 and the 22, and then obviously you're going to do another play on top of that, but it just clears their field under that circumstance with Winda where they can't really gather up a big field anyway, maintain a big board. So it was so good. Definitely the best card in the deck. And then the other best card in the deck, Sanctum, because everybody knows Sanctum's overpowered. A lot of the times, what I would do was I would make, I'll get to this actually. I ran Durandal, but I would make Winda plus Durandal, and they have almost no outs to that because if they go to breakthrough it or something, I would just chain and make them pop my Sanctum. And the amount of times that I did that during the day, and it won me games. I think Durandal, that specific combo won me at least 4 matches, just doing that and locking them down completely. They're not going to be able to break through the window. They can't book a moon in the window. They try and summon Altier and make a play, they can't. Try and flip the Falco, they can't. Like, it was too powerful. So that was my lineup for that. That was the main deck lineup. Any questions before I go on to the super consistent and powerful main deck? I just want to keep everything at the like minimal number that it didn't clog while giving me the best plays. Like I said with the mathematicians, like it would be cool to run 3, but I just didn't need 3.
One thing that I thought was kind of cool, and that you also pointed out on our drive here, is that you were one of the few people running the artifact variant versus the collapsed Serpent build.
Someone said there was 4 people playing the artifact variant.
Yeah, there was a lot playing the collapsed Serpent, like a lot. All the ones I played were playing the collapsed Serpent build too. Like all the ones that were at the top tables with me, I had several mirror matches, and they were all collapsed Serpent or like the straight regular build. But I don't know, like that build is good because you have more combo options. Like I said, it plays more like Mermails, but you just don't. This just has answers to everything. So, and I mean, you'll see more when I get into my extra deck. I think my extra deck is just stronger than what they can run. But the little vowel chain, it's too good, and I don't make 4s that much. So just to like make this early on and just generate the pluses off of it, and they have to deal with it or else you get more pluses, is too good. So this card is absolutely retarded, especially in this deck where you can manipulate your own cards with, flipping them face down and whatnot. The card is stupid. That was all I needed for the rank 4s. These 2 were perfect. I used them both multiple times. So the rank 5s, well, they're stuck. Okay, well, the Pleiades, for obvious reasons I explained later, and I told you the combos with Durandal, but it really was just too good. Like, people struggled so hard to get around it, and I mean, you can always just overlay your beast and an artifact or the window if you want to get it off the field, which I thought was really good, because sometimes I wanted to remove my own window, make sure that I was attacking clean and not running into a deep prison, thanks to this, and then I would get my window back at the end of the turn. So it was just really good. I chose, like, I was sitting at this house actually, and Josh Morlock just insisted on giving me this card, and he also is like requiring that I give him a shout out of the goodness of his own heart. So here's your shout out that you asked for.
Yeah.
Now you deserve it. You just
obligatory shout out.
Obligatory shout out. He reminded me the entire day that he owned my soul, and I actually had to play Chainburn, and I made this both games, and he read it and he goes, "What the hell?" And he couldn't play anything. I straight up won just because of that card. It was the stupidest match of the day. So thank you, Josh.
You're welcome.
This was super good for reasons that it shouldn't have been. I would summon Mathematician and send the Squamata and then send Falco, and for some reason they wouldn't attack the Mathematician because like they didn't want to give me the draw, and I'm just like, okay. So the next turn I would get a card back, the Squamata, or if I foolish something else like a beast or something, I would get that back. But anyway, I'd get a card back with the Falco flip, and then I would go Mathematician and just overlay into this and just like win the mirror match right there or whatever else. And it was just like, okay, I don't know why it happened so many times. So this was really good. Also, I run Mind Control in my side deck, so sometimes I would take a Hedgehog from them, flip it, get Fusion, and then draw my Falco and go into that. So that was really good. I ran these 2 for my 6s. This was just kind of like the same thing with the Sorcerer and the BLS. I just wanted ways to remove the problem cards. This was actually really good because you can just flip Falco, get back like your Beast or whatever, then normal summon a Lizard, Squamata, sorry, the fuck, Squamata or Dragon, and just go into that. And then same with Goyo, like you just can easily make the 6s. So I just wanted the 2. He's obviously one of the best cards right now, so it's Goyo. And then this was really good. It just takes care of the window, it takes care of the whatever the hell gets in your way, Delthros. So Black Rose, I didn't really need to make this for this much, but it is really good. because if you shadow games on their turn on the end phase and flip the Falco, get your card back, flip over beast, draw 2 cards, and then black rose their field, and then go on with your turn before you've even done anything. It's super good, and if it resolves, you do pretty much win. Arcanite was probably one of the best cards in the extra deck all day. It's so easy to make. And it just eats up the back row because they have to respond to it. They can't just let you sit there and pop the back row. You're going to win. And then even if they chain it, which would happen a lot, then I would just turn it into a construct. So it was just good all around. And then this, probably the best extra deck card the entire day. You just sank them, kill their monster, and then go into this with Falco on your turn, and they just it gets over like everything right now. So the card was fantastic. I actually this guy got mad at me. I think it was around 3 maybe? I can't remember, but somebody in one of the rounds was like, how the hell did you just make that? And I had to show him the actual condition on the card, and the card was amazing. And then for the lineup, I ran 3 and 2. Just because this was my reason behind this too, and I don't agree with everyone else saying that you barely make this, because I make this all the time, probably because I have more lights, and I have my throwaway lights like I was explaining. The thing is, you're actually going to get rid of this more than you think, like I explained with the overlaying, and sometimes you're going to synchro it off and do an Arcanite, and then get it back at the end of the turn. It's just going to be a card you use more as far as for combo pieces, so that's why I ran the extra one. And also, here's another big reason. I can get both of these back with Falco, but getting this back in defense is a lot safer and a lot more guaranteed that it's going to live next turn than this, because this has fucking 800 defense. So I never want to just like flip Falco and set that back, but setting that back, then they have to deal with that. And usually they're going to leave my Falco alone, and then I can just go into other plays on that. So I thought that lineup was correct. Then, fucking token. Okay, so I only ran 2 MSTs because I had the ignitions in there, and I didn't want to clog it, because technically you have the 3 dragons also. So, I mean, between the 3 dragons, the 2 ignitions, and this, and the fact that I can always use Mortark to pop like a floodgate, that was just enough back row destruction. Plus, I ran the Malcat along with that because it works in tandem with my artifacts. So, my favorite card ever, as everybody knows. This, I had to play Prophecy, which is what I was actually kind of nervous about, because my version,
real quick so everyone can actually see what that is.
The Zombie World. It's just too good. You play it against Prophecy or Brujans, and those were predicted to be played because everyone thought they were going to have good matchups against Shadolls. You pretty much just win against both those decks automatically with those 2 cards, so it was really good. Mind Control for a lot of stuff, because you can jack most things from the other top decks and just either synchro them off or overlay. So I sided that in a lot. I almost wish I would have main decked it, just maybe instead of Soul Charge or something. I don't know, just because it was so good. Every time I sided in, I used it. So, and then also the mirror match is very important. You can take the Falco and the Hedgehog on their side of the field and use it and snowball and win from there. To that, just because this version of the deck has a really terrible matchup against Ophion. So that was my only reason for that. I think I maybe only sided this one time against, I can't remember. I think I sided in against Stellar Knights just because, I don't know why I did. I didn't need it, but I was just like, I'm going to try it out. The 2 Super Poly, I didn't want to main it because I figured that people were going to be playing stuff to counter Shadolls, or like I anticipated other decks being big, which I was correct on quite a few of them. I didn't feel the need to main it, and I felt that like my side deck was strong enough alone to beat the mirror match because I ran these, which I'll explain in a second. But the thing was, I didn't expect to lose the mirror match because I've been studying this format for quite a bit before we actually got it over here, and I was pretty comfortable with the mirror match, and I actually wanted to play the mirror match, and I got to play several of them, and I 2-0'd every mirror match. So, and they were all main decking this too, so that was kind of upsetting, but I still, I still beat them. So, anyway, I would side usually this in the mirror match, these 5 cards, and it was a blowout. I didn't have a problem with the mirror, and this card is basically the same concept as Soul Taker was in the Chaos Dragon format. It's just a blowout. You just get rid of their Nephilim or their Winda, Jesus Christ, and they don't get anything back. And or you can use it like I used it. The kid tried to compulse my my Nephilim construct, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I just chained that and split it back into the artifact and the Shadoll, and it's pretty much game. So it was too good. Like these cards deciding the mirror match was just pretty much an auto win, to be honest.
Holy shit!
What?
If you use... God, I didn't even think about the artifact thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's goofy.
Yeah, so you attack, and then you just go back into your artifact and just hit for a ton of extra damage. Like, sometimes I would have used... I tried to use Beast and Moral Attack as much as possible, because sometimes I would just hit with Construct, and then they think the battle phase is over, and I'd split it and attack for game, because that's... Yeah, another over 4,000 for those. That's 43 between those two, so it's like stupid. And then the last three were just these. I didn't want to side third Maxi because there are a lot of decks where I didn't think Maxi was super good. And I forgot my vanities is actually the only reason I did this. I didn't have my vanities on me when I got to the event, so I sided these in just to stop the OTKs, and you can use this to make a Shadoll because the tokens are light and it's a dark shell. Yep.
Fantastic.
That was that. Anything else?
Oh, we're actually reaching 21, 22 minutes.
Oh, sweet. All right, we have cake, so peace.